Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform to become your spiritual servant. Welcome to your daily Adept report. And what's today? The 20th, I believe? Yeah, the 20th. May the 20th of 2018. I need to have like a calendar on here, so I'm not looking over here awkwardly every single time because I don't know what date it is. But I kind of just take things day to day, honestly. I don't really pay attention too much to the dates. But yeah, welcome to your daily Adept report. And let's dive into the cards and a bit of astrology and see kind of what's going on today. Well, we do have a lot of beginning energy still. We have, Mars, which is now officially in the first degree of Aquarius. We have Venus, which is now officially in the first degree of Cancer. We have Chiron, which is officially the first degree of Aries. And we also have Uranus, which is still at the 0 mark of Taurus, but it'll hit that 1 degree mark shortly. But we have a lot of this beginner energy. And now we actually have Chiron and Venus beginning to make this square. And we really still have Uranus and Mars making this square as well. So with all this beginner energy, we can definitely feel like things are definitely starting off, and we're planting these seeds, and now we're kind of going through this new cycle and this new level. It's like we moved on to the next level, and now we're exploring the terrain to see where we're supposed to go. We're talking to all the different NPCs, picking up items for our inventory, and we're really trying to figure out exactly where is this story going. The overall theme of this story is actually the 7 of Wands in reverse today. So this has to do with this whole, I like to think of the 7 of Wands in reverse as this sort of like almost like chaotic like reaction. I think a lot of times we almost go into situations, especially social media, especially the internet, we go into them with like our wand out, ready to like poke someone. Because it's almost like we're wanting to get attacked. The 7 of Wands is someone who's defending themselves and defending their high position. But when it's in reverse, it's like it deals with this perplexity, this anxiety, and it's almost sort of like, I'm going to get attacked. And maybe you're not going to be attacked, but maybe we're all feeling like this, and this makes sense because we all are a little bit more sensitive right now, especially since Venus is moved into Cancer, so this is really about safeguarding our own vibe. But we're going to be kind of going into today and be aware and conscious of this, that you don't necessarily have to be just on guard going into situations. But I feel like the 7 of Wands in reverse is someone who's on guard and no one's actually really attacking them, right? So the exposition of the story, we actually have the Moon card. So this is actually about intuition. This is about actually trusting your gut. This is actually about emotional safeguarding. And I want you to even notice here in the card, you see this middle path that goes between these 2 towers? This is about true emotional understanding. Now, you are supposed to experience all the emotions that you do, the full spectrum. But I think what happens a lot of times is that we take a position either here or here, and then, someone's over here and someone's over here, and they're arguing back and forth, and they're trying to figure out what side is right. And it's not so much that this side is right and this side is wrong and vice versa. It's that there's a middle path, which is that deeper emotional understanding, that emotional intelligence, and having true compassion for your fellow brothers and sisters. Now, Venus has shifted into Cancer, which is naturally ruled by the Moon. So this is about safeguarding your vibe, absolutely. And yes, removing yourself from situations and even people that you feel might bring down your vibe. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're doing so in a intelligent way. And when I say that, I mean you're doing so in a way where you show compassion for yourself and even the other person. Learning how to forgive. Forgiveness, I feel, is a really big thing. And just taking the middle path, having the intuition to really follow your emotional guidance system. This is not really going to be a day of swimming against the current. If there's any day, this is not a day to swim against the current. Not only that, we have to consider the fact that the Moon is conjunct the North Node right now as I'm making this video. So our Moon, our emotions, is meeting up with the North Node, our destiny, which is in Leo, our heart space. And our sense of passion and like this really like deeper sense of joy. Leo is that roars, that fiery, creative energy that we use to like push out to the, and it's fixed fire. So it's like really like what you're like fixated, on creating. The moon is beating up at this spot. So really, we're going to have this moment today where really emotionally we're going to be feeling more connected to our destiny and more connected to our heart, right? We have the Four of Pentacles as the exposition. This shows someone who is holding on to these pentacles, and we have to figure out today what to hold on to and what to let go of. I think that's also what the moon conjuncting the North Node is. Because I think a lot of times, and I want you to even think about it like this: when you go swimming and you get out of the pool, or you get out of the river or the ocean or whatever, yeah, you need a towel to dry you off, but a lot of the water just rolls off of you. And that's how you kind of want to, view the moon, in a sense that you are supposed to experience these emotions, absolutely, but you also need to allow things to roll off of you. I think a lot of people like to hoard on to that water, and you can't, because water is a flow, and it does actually take shape of the container that you put it in. The Four of Pentacles here is saying that, definitely as far as our value too goes, because Venus moving into Cancer is also making this aspect to Taurus. It's starting to make the sextile to the Taurus energy. So we're really going to have to learn now what really to hold on to. What is it that makes us really feel valuable? What is it that really gives us that self-confidence? And what to let go of that no longer serves us. For the rising action, we actually have the King of Pentacles in reverse, even more so into the fact that there may be corruption when it comes to money, finances. There may be some type of barbarity and underhandedness. And yes, this could be, you might experience this with an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. I would almost even like to say Capricorn, just because Saturn is there and Pluto is there. Mars just left that sign, but it will retrograde back into Capricorn later this year. But this has to do with a sense of barbarity, and this is all mine. This is the King of Pentacles in reverse, is like gobbling up all the resources and not leaving enough resources for anyone else around, because the King of Pentacles feels like they should have it. And yes, the King of Pentacles in reverse maybe someone who has a lot of self-confidence, but they also probably don't have a lot of compassion either, right? For the climax is actually the Page of Swords, so definitely you're going to be wanting to more or less speak your mind about what's going on, and more or less wanting to communicate to the universe what you truly want, what you truly desire, and what you truly believe is fair. This also, of course, since it's a court card, could be a Gemini, could be a Libra, could be an Aquarius. This could be the idea of Mars moving into the Aquarius, which if it exhibits that energy, you're going to see this need to kind of defend yourself, even if you go into situations where you don't necessarily need to defend yourself. The Page of Swords might take that energy into Aries and might react in hostile ways. I think the thing that we have to remember is that yes, there are definitely people out there that gobble up all the resources, that hoard all the resources, and have these terrible practices. We'll also have to realize what our reaction to that is. And since the South Node is in Aquarius, this is about rebelling in a different way. Because Aquarius does rule rebellion energy. I'm focusing on that right now. But we also have to consider that the moon is now opposite the South Node, conjunct the North Node. So this is really about the best way to really rebel at this point is by coming into your heart. Now, the Page of Swords could also be talking about Mercury, which is now in Taurus. So this is also about communicating back to ourselves what is our true worth, our true value, and starting to communicate that to the universe. And since it's in Taurus, if you actually say things now, like affirmations right now, are actually supercharged. Because if you start to say affirmations like, I am amazing, I am beautiful, I am worthy, or my favorite, I am soaring, I am flying, I am being everything I can be on this day and the next. One of my current favorites that I use. Communicating that right now, that's you're going to really begin to ground this energy with Taurus, and as you're going to manifest it more. And while Mercury is here, The sun is also about to leave this spot too. So, and Mercury won't stay in Taurus for long. But what we are dealing with the Page of Swords is us wanting to communicate our truth. Us wanting to communicate our truth more. Now, for the following, we actually have the Knight of Wands. And this signals to someone who is actually preparing to be attacked. Not so much that they have been attacked, but this is someone who's kind of preparing for the worst. And someone who has built up a lot of stuff, who has manifested a lot, and who has worked on their creation for quite a while. But this is the Knight of Wands is someone who's kind of like preparing for the worst almost. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst, which I don't really like that saying. And I understand that we need to prepare for the worst in some ways, but at the same time, I like to think of hope for the best and prepare for the best. That way you're communicating out to the universe that you are preparing for the best to happen to you, instead of for the worst to happen to you. Now, is that going to say that when the worst happens to you that you're not going to be prepared? No. Because I think if you say hope for the best, prepare for the best, you're already going to be in that high vibration, so that when perceivably negative vibrational things come to you and experiences and people coming to you, you'll be at a better position to deal with them. You'll be at a higher position to deal with them. You already be at this high state, and even if it brings your vibration down a little bit, it's better than being right here, your vibration going down at that point. This is about raising your baseline vibration. This is really what it's about. While Venus is in Cancer, this is really going to be about raising our baseline vibration and make sure that we are surrounding ourselves with energy, people, experiences, and just high vibrations that really safeguard our truth, that safeguard us since it's growing self-worth and value. We have to consider the fact that the North Node will be shifting into Cancer. So not now, this is happening later on, but Venus is kind of almost just like previewing this in a way, because Venus is what we're open to receiving. It's that receptive energy. It's also how we it's also kind of in many ways how we love, or how we like to be loved too. In many ways, it has to do with those types of energies. So we actually have the Ace of Cups in reverse as the resolution. So this even signaling, driving home more the fact of how do you safeguard your vibration? How do you protect yourself? Because the Ace of Cups in reverse isn't necessarily bad. This is certainly going to be an emotional understanding time and even a healing time. But we have to have the confidence, and we have to have the emotional fortitude to protect ourselves when we feel we need to be protected. And no hard feelings to anyone who may be on the outside, or no hard feelings to anyone who may seem like they're kind of disregarded. They're not so much disregarded. You're just taking care of yourself. This is going to be a day about really taking care of yourself before you really kind of go out into the world and help other people and communicate. And also being aware that not everyone's really going to be on that same vibration. Some people are still going to want to hold on to the old way, the old ego, holding on to all these things that they feel is going to make them feel better. You have to understand that the King of Pentacles in reverse is the rise of the action. This is someone who might have a lot of self-confidence, but this is also someone who probably has also a lot of self-hatred, because the only way they have this insatiable appetite where they have to gobble up all this stuff because they can't go within themselves and see the infinite abundance of who they are in this moment, without having to have a million resources and a million things. There's nothing wrong wanting to experience the riches. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not getting to a level where you're trying to fulfill some type of appetite that honestly can't be fulfilled. The King of Pentacles in reverse is someone whose ego is like seriously ruling them. And yeah, I know Aries is a sign where their ego rules them, but they're supposed to be ruled by their ego. And even then, Chiron is in this spot, so it's definitely learning. We're all learning to heal our ego and our persona. And I want you to look at who the writer of the story is today. We actually have the Three of Cups. So there is certainly a reason to celebrate, and there are certain people in your life that you can celebrate with. But you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people that are going to also safeguard your vibration, who are also going to understand you on an emotional level and aren't going to be trying to jab their wand into you or jab their sword into you. This is definitely a day about communicating your worth and your value and your truth and standing your ground and hoping for the best and preparing for the best. And also learning to, this is a time to, celebrate with the people that really help to bring up your vibration, right? That's really what this is about. And like I said, ultimately, this is about taking the middle path. So even if there's people that might kind of get you riled up emotionally, you can peacefully disagree with them and you can move on. But don't stick on this tower. Don't stick on that tower. Take the middle path. That's where the moon is. That's where your intuition is. And right now, like I said, it's conjunct the North Node. That's where your heart is as well. That is it for your reading today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below to the Aquarian Adepts. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often. Ah!